everybody. Welcome to another episode of Give Us the Launch Codes. I'm Tom,
I'm Travis.
and welcome
Glad to be here.
to our Friday segment of Give Us the Remote.
Yeah. We kind of thought we were thinking like we tend to talk about like movies and current events, and and at a certain point it's like, well, we gotta
Divide.
find a better way to split these up because we love talking about we definitely love talking about the latter. That's for sure.
Well, who
Might
doesn't?
might be a cornerstone of our friendship. Um, And but we couldn't figure out what to open with, so it was the most this is like the most fuck it, where we're like 2 days before 3 days before recording. Like, what are we gonna do for this?
Fuck it. Fuck
Yeah.
it. Fuck it. Fuckit, motherfuckers. It's another fuck
Hmm.
it. Who misses the
Yeah.
fuck it's? We got a good fuck it today, folks, because I picked something and Travis picked something. And for
Yeah.
this fuck it, I get to go first, which is kind of fun. I don't really go first on these. It's kind of
Yep.
a little interesting. So, for this segment, Travis, I ask you to start it off. What do you do when you get mad? When you get angry, Travis? What do you do to release that furious anger inside
Ooh.
you? Do you get manic? Do you get crazy? Or dare I say, do you get berserk?
Oh, nice, nice. You're holding up
Yes.
the cover of Berserk. So you're talking about sorry, manga. Manga is book
Yes.
form. You're holding
Yes.
a book.
I'm talking about the manga specifically, the anime. I'll talk about another time. But for to start off, though, folks, for those who don't know, in America and in most of the world, we have comic books, panels with a couple of word bubbles and nice illustrations drawn to tell a story in a different type of medium compared to books, which is all writing. Manga is basically the Japanese version of comic books, but you read it right to left, the way Japan writes, right to left. The
Yep.
conservative way of writing compared to the liberal way of writing, which we do in America and most of the world, left to right. But right to left is actually the traditional way. And the Japanese still hold on to that, reading right to left. So when you read a manga, it's basically a backwards book. Now, to further it even more, the majority of your manga is going to be MA. Because in Japan, it is changed recently in the past 5 years, but the overall mentality of Japan is if it's not real, there's nothing really legal you can do about it. And by that means, it's like, okay, if we were shooting a live action TV show, it's going to have more of an was it MPPA laws? MPAA laws?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Motion Picture Association. Yeah.
yeah, it's going to have more of those laws. But in Japan, if it's not real, then it's not considered anything of legal jurisdiction. So
Hmm.
manga and anime, you can kind of, and it's unfortunate to say this for certain reasons, it's been cracked down upon, but not until recently, but you can write and draw anything. So I'll let you take your minds there. But for specifically Berserk,
Is
give you
that
a
is
quick,
that why? Do you think that's a big reason why anime has such a huge following
the fan,
outside of
oh, the
Japan?
quote unquote fan service, yes, because you'll have girls with the like a zero, a size zero, but with like the most perkiest H cups known to man that defy gravity and will never sag or drop an inch,
Yeah.
as the late Walter Frey would say. But the problem with that, by the way, with that is just you gotta there are not the majority of them are, yes, fan service. You just gotta find the ones that are actually just focused on a good fucking story.
Speaking of which, I presume.
Yes, Berserk. So Berserk is an ongoing manga, actually. It's still ongoing, has not concluded, and it first came out in August 25th of 1989.
Okay.
This has been going on since 89. There's a lot to read. Created by, hope I'm saying his name right, Kitaro Miura, Berserk Falls Guts, or, as he's known to his allies and enemies, the Black Swordsman. His world is darkness, war, and horror. This whole storyline of Berserk is set in a dark fantasy medieval European like world. So it's not set in like, feudal Japan or where you can tell like, oh, we're in an Asian country. This is set in Europe. Like all the characters are European. You can
Mhm.
just tell by the way they're drawn and everything. This is a medieval high fantasy world. Uh, Guts, the main character, is on a quest for revenge against his closest friend and former battle commander, Griffith, who was and still is the leader of the Band of Hawks. So he was, and he still is, the leader of the Band of the Hawks. You got to read to figure that one out. That's a good one. In this world, there's magic, dragons, trolls, demons, and angels. Guts arms himself with one of pop culture's most iconic sword, the Dragon Slayer. A sword so massive it can only be described as a heap of raw iron. And when you swing it and when it makes contact, it sounds like a cannon's going off. That's how big this sword is. It just sounds like you're swinging a cannon. He also has throwing knives, a dagger, an automatic crossbow. I'm not joking. It's a literal automatic crossbow and a prosthetic metal arm with a cannon attached to it. And yeah, he uses it and it's awesome. Has a little pull lever to it, like with a string, and he gets his teeth and he pulls it, and it'll just blow you to hell. And like he actually stuffs it with like so much gunpowder, it sometimes like dislocates his shoulder.
Wow.
Guts hunts down apostles. The apostles are lieutenants in Griffith's demonic army. Each one he slays gets him closer and closer to Griffith and the God Hand, a council of five godlike entities that have their fun with man's destiny. Can Guts avenge his fallen comrades, who were savagely sacrificed during the eclipse? Will he also save the world from the multiple armies that consume the land? One can only hope. For in this world, is the destiny of mankind controlled by some transcendental entity or law? Is it like the hand of God hovering above? At least it is true that man has no control, even over his own will.
God.
That is,
Very, very lofty.
yes, that
So
is
so it's
Berserk.
like, the lone so it's like a basically like a lone swordsman with a lot of great weapons. He's got to go stop he's got to stop the evil dark lords from taking over the world.
It's a mixture of that. So he actually has a band of companions. There's a
Okay.
wizard, two elves, and in this world, elves are actually more portrayed as magical fairies, but they're called elves. But he has like a companion group. He has actually two. At first, during what's famously known as the Golden Age arc that everyone loves, he's part of a mercenary group called the Band of the Hawks, and he has a comrades Casca, Pippin, Corcus, Juno, and Ricket, who are led by Griffith, and then in this the latter half, he gets a new band of companions. One's a an actual wizard or a witch. She's a witch. Two magical fairies with like really high intense healing powers. A noble swordsman who can actually hold himself well in a fight. He has a high-ranking member of a really royal family as almost like the kind of like the money girl, really. She's the bank. She helps like get what they need. There's a thief, a 14-year-old thief who's trying to learn his way in the world. And then Casca comes back. But due to what happened to her in the eclipse, most of their journey is also trying to reclaim her mind.
Hmm.
This whole thing is, first of all, it's really well drawn. And let me tell you, it makes Game of Thrones look like a kindergarten scuffle. Let's just say that. Every battle, every fight scene in Berserk makes Game of Thrones look like PBS. It is that detailed in its violence and gore, but it also is that detailed in showing at the same time. Uh, this guy knew what he was making. Um, Mira, the fucking I know I'm saying his name wrong, but Kinoru Mira. He's really showing us what it was like back in the feudal times because it's like you are seeing shit in every panel. You're seeing the savagery of a world governed by kings and lords and ladies because they show kids. I'm going to let the audience know right now. You will see panels involving kids, but it's not this like just for the sake of it kind of bullshit. No, he's showing like this main character is just trapped in this horrific world. I mean, Guts was actually born from his mother's dead corpse because
Oh my
there's a
God.
oh no yeah there's a band of mercenaries that travel by a tree of just hanging women who are all hanged. It's like it's a barren tree, no leaves on it, like 40 nooses, all dead corpses, and I hear a baby's cry underneath one of them, and that's why he's called Guts. It's almost I feel like you know the character Riddick.
Mhm.
Then Pitch Black, the way he describes his origins, it's very close to Guts. Riddick says uh, he was born in a in a dumpster with an umbilical cord wrapped around his neck. That's how he was found. Guts was found underneath his mom's hanging corpse, and that so she died and then gave birth. It's very similar to that, and the way this man fights with such savagery, it's almost like, hey, 1989. It's like, oh shit, was this the OG Doomslayer? Because like this is literally the enemy fears this man to such a point where these demonic, like horrific Lovecraftian monsters actually get scared of him, and he's just a human. Magic. He's just a human with just the will to kill, carrying this sword that probably weighs 300 pounds, maybe more. It's like a broadsword's wet dream. It's as wide as the couch that I sit on.
Wasn't there like a Final Fantasy character that had like a really large
That's the
sword?
Buster Blade. Cloud. His name's Cloud. That's the Buster Blade. I've heard it was inspired by it.
Okay, all
I
right.
heard it was. And also too there in this and when you read into more of it, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but there's a lot of themes going on. And the main
Mm,
theme is revenge. But it's an interesting way they do it because it's this guy really put a mirror to the face of a lot of things. Like, okay, for example, it made me think of Liam Neeson. Remember how Liam Neeson said that he found out his close female friend got raped and he went on a fucking angry rampage that fortunately led to nothing because he never
yeah.
found the guy or never walked into a black man.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
hold on. This character watched his woman, his girlfriend actually, get
Mm.
raped brutally in front of him by his former comrade. But the thing is, he's on such this hell-bent crazy rampage. It's like this. Are you avenging her or is it you? Who's this massacre for? This like trail of this mountain of corpses you have now created.
Yeah.
Are you doing this for your woman who got raped or are you doing it because you can't also look at her again because she got raped? What is it for? Who's this for? Who is your vengeance for? This warlike path, this one man crusade against evil, which is good. He doesn't want to. He actually doesn't give a shit about people, but he's actually coincidentally is saving the world. But he doesn't give a shit. He just wants to kill the guy who raped his girl.
Yeah.
But it's like, who's it for? Like, you can't bring her justice though.
Yeah.
So is this for you or her? Like that's one of the questions. Another question is he really um, questions faith. And another as the story continues, Guts runs into a very extremely religious group of individuals who are basically Catholics. I know they people want to say they're Christians, but the way this one guy is dressed, I'm like, that's a Catholic priest, but that's the Pope. But
It's
okay,
very specific.
and it looks very Pope-like, but it's more obviously because we know what happened with when Christianity was coming into Japan. A lot of people died. A lot of people did die.
Well, it's like a wait, have you watched Shogun?
I've been of it, but I've also watched what was that one Martin Scorsese movie, Silence?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
I know,
yeah.
no, I get it. It's the battle of two beliefs.
I was like in Shogun where like the Brits come to Japan and then and of
Yep.
course the Japanese this like olden time, so like their only exposure to like Europe has been like the Portuguese Catholics. Then
Hmm.
the British come in and it's like they suddenly there's like this other version of Christianity that they never heard of, and it's and they're like, "Well, we don't go by the Catholic way. We worship Jesus, but like in a different way." And the Japanese are like, "What?
No,
What?
yeah, no,
No
but
way!"
yeah, no, but it deals with questions on what faith is and how it can be also used as a weapon and not actually to help the masses. And also as you read further, there's three besides the demonic army. There's three other main armies that this
Mhm.
character deals with. There's the Midland army, who he at one time fights with, but then gets hunted by. There's the Tudor army, who he goes and has slaughtered thousands of their men, but then also fights alongside them. And then there's the Kushnan army, and they're portrayed as very Hindu, Middle Eastern.
Okay, yeah, I can
But
tell by
it's
that
what's
name.
but what's interesting is when those two armies come together and they fight the Midland and the Kushnans, you get a sense what he's not saying is there's no one good side. Both these super highly religious armies are actually hurting the people.
So Berserk is essentially like a grizzled swordsman out for revenge. Um and it contemplates whether the revenge is really worth it, presented in a very metal, heightened, grim, dark fantasy kind of
Yeah,
way.
yeah, I think it's
Okay.
worth a read for you. I have 10 out of the 14 deluxe books, and for people who aren't seeing this on YouTube, the deluxe books are about what, inch and a half thick? Would you say that's about?
The,
Like they're
yeah,
thick.
somewhere around there. And those are like when I go to bookstores, those are the only like Berserk books I see.
Yeah,
It's just those thick
the
deluxe
thick.
editions,
They
those thick
call it the black
hardcover editions,
spines. The black spines.
the black
And the
spines.
artwork is great. All of it's black and white. That shows how most manga is actually. Most
Hmm.
manga is black and white, except
Yep.
maybe sometimes the first two panels. But I would recommend you reading it for sure, Travis, and people listening, because the artwork is undeniably gorgeous and beautiful. It makes it makes Nolan movies look like shit. Let's just say that's how beautifully detailed they are.
Didn't like the original creator
He
pass
passed.
away, and
He did.
now there's like a new creative team trying
And
to finish his
well,
story.
and what's nice is that creative team, who is led by, let me get his name again, uh, Kuji Mori, he worked with him. He used to work for him. So
Mhm.
at least the idea is still there. So the feeling is still there. They might have to start wrapping it up because it's kind of getting that One Piece two going along feeling. But it's I'm hoping it ends soon so I can have a definitive ending to it because this is a long freaking journey. This whole storyline has been going on since '89, and it's been great. I'll give you that, but I will say that it needs to have an ending, and I think they're trying to get to that. And it makes you think when as you read, like the way they do the trolls and it's also a subversion of expectations too. Like the trolls and giants and goblins that you see here, completely not what you would think. They really had fun with this dark fantasy world of just Lovecraftian human despicable horror. The
Mhm.
humans are just as bad as the demons. Then the demons are just as bad as the humans. And it comes down to it comes down to this. The way to fight evil is to become the scariest, disgusting SOB on the planet. And that's who Guts is. If you see how he's drawn like, damn, that's like if Clark Kent had like some fucking yumminess to him, literally.
Mhm.
But when you see him fight, it scares even his allies. He is so ferocious in his butchering of evil that it almost makes you think who's worse. And then
Mhm.
Griffith, who leads the army of darkness, is drawn in the most holy crap, everyone would want to fuck him. Like men and women. Like it makes Brad Pitt's Achilles look like a two. I'm not joking. They made this they purposely drew him to be this most beautiful man who ever lived because the only way for people to accept the devil is by looking as innocent as possible. It's that kind of theme. So I recommend reading it. I hope everyone likes it. Word of advice: it is not. It's a no hold. It to me. It's NC-17 right off the bat.
It's
It's a no holds
not for the
bar.
faint of heart.
I'm glad I did not read this in high school, so I can be
Okay.
fully like ready and mature for consuming this and not just thinking like, oh hey, look at the tits and gore. It's like, It's more than that. Like there's actually reasons to all the atrocities being committed to both men and women and children in this. There's actually a reason. So, Berserk, everyone, read it, and I say it's worth it.
All right. For mine, I want to open up with some excerpts
Ooh.
from the original Pitch Bible, which you can find online. I read this in college and it fascinated me. Our goal is nothing less than the reinvention of the science fiction television series. We take as a given that the traditional space opera, with its stock characters, techno double talk, bumpy headed aliens, thespian histrionics, and empty heroics, has run its course, and a new approach is required. That approach is to introduce realism into what has heretofore been an aggressively unrealistic genre. Call
Mm.
it naturalistic science fiction.
Ooh.
Now it goes on to talk. Now the mission statement page does go on to explain how things are going to be a little different. I want to get to the last attribute here, which is and character. This is perhaps the biggest departure from the science fiction norm.
Oh.
We do not have the cocky guy, the fast talker, the brain, the wacky alien sidekick, or any of the other usual characters who populate a space series. Our characters are living, breathing people with all the emotional complexity and contradictions present in quality dramas like The West Wing or The Sopranos. You can probably tell when this was written.
Yeah. Yeah.
In this way, we hope to challenge our audience in ways that other genre pieces do not. We want the audience to connect with the characters as people. Our characters are not superheroes. They are not an elite. They are everyday people caught up in an enormous cataclysm and trying to survive it as best as they can. They are you and me.
Ooh.
This week, I just started the final season of Southland, which is a show that you have begged me to watch for years, and now I'm getting to the end. So now I'm going to talk about something that I've begged you to watch for years. And after watching Southland, I am certain that you will love Battlestar Galactica.
There we go. There we go.
All right. Little history of Battlestar Galactica. There's actually two TV shows, but I'm gonna talk well three, but I'm gonna talk about the last one because there was a show that came out in 1978, created by Glenn Larson, uh,
Right.
made by ABC, meant to capitalize on the success of Star Wars. Very expensive, had special effects done by John Dykstra, who did the special effects for the first Star Wars. It got canceled after one season.
Wow. Okay.
Um, but it was it was and I'm going to be honest, I've watched that original show. There's some good episodes, the ones that were like clearly written in advance, but then there's episodes where it's like, did they write this in a day? And knowing the behind the scenes struggles of that show, it's probably because they were.
Yeah.
Um, it had its merit, and if they had gotten a second season, they probably could have ironed out the storytelling kinks. But it was too expensive. ABC was
Yeah.
like, this is too expensive to keep going. They tried to revive it a year later when ABC got cold feet and they destroyed all the sets. So they tried to make a less expensive version called Galactica 1980, and the less said about that show, the better. So it's just a little cult classic thing for a while until 2003, when former Universal executive turned TV producer David Icke and former longtime Star Trek writer producer Ronald D. Moore came out with their own reimagining, their own very post 9/11 inspired reimagining of Battlestar Galactica. It's essentially in terms of backdrop and premise, take the setup of Terminator,
Mhm.
but replace time travel with space travel. So you got the whole thing, humanity, and add an element of like humanity came to Earth from other worlds. Like we did not originate on Earth. We actually Life here
Oh,
began out there, is
yeah.
what the
Well,
sacred
this
scrolls
is an
say.
actual like scientific theory too that we actually didn't start off here.
Yeah, yeah, and so it's banked on that. So somewhere out there, there were these 12 colonies of man, or the 12 colonies of Kobol, because Glenn Larson was a Mormon and Kobol is just Kolob with some letters reversed. And on the 12 colonies, they invented robots, robot servants, artificial intelligence. The robots turned against us. We had a war over it, and then the war stopped. There was an armistice, and for about 50 something years, we didn't fight each other. And then the robots, the Cylons as they're called, they came
Yes,
back in a
Cylon.
preemptive strike, took over all of our defenses, and nuked the 12 colonies to hell. And the only survivors were the people that were already on spaceships, and they all banded together. And now they're looking for a mythologized 13th colony called Earth for their salvation.
Oh,
But can they survive being chased by the Cylons? The only defense is an old ship, the titular Battlestar Galactica, a ship that is so basically an aircraft carrier in space, a ship that is so fucking old that when the series started, they were turning it into a museum when the attack went down.
ah,
Which is why the ship didn't get a big reason why the ship didn't get destroyed because it didn't have networked computers. It is very low tech.
someone read Dune. I like that.
Yeah, and here's another little wrinkle to make
Yeah.
things more complicated as they're struggling to survive in space, finding a new home, as the robot faction is looking for them, trying to wipe out the last remnants of humanity. Some Cylons now look like us, flesh and blood bodies. They've evolved in. They don't just look like scary, tall, robotic toasters. That's what they nickname. They nickname them as toasters, with like
That's awesome.
literal hand. They don't look like that. They don't just look like that. They have 12 models of flesh and blood people, and they could be anywhere in the fleet.
And let me guess, some people want to have sex with them.
Oh, they are down to fuck.
Oh, is
Oh
that
yeah, of course.
is that where the red dress chick comes in?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
She's
Yeah.
what
That. By
I
the way,
saw.
that's actress played by actress Trisha Helfer. A
Oh
big
yeah,
breakout
no.
for the voice of Veronica Dale from Halo ODST.
Eh,
Yeah.
no, when I first saw like posters and promotionals for that, because I never watched it, but I see the chick in the red dress, I'm like, this show must be cool. Because that girl goes like this. Yeah, I think I want to put down my toys for a while. Put down the Hot Wheels.
Yeah, this came out on the Sci-Fi Channel in 2003, ran until 2009. 4 seasons, 76 episodes.
Damn.
Uh, this was like at the time this came out, like Star Trek Enterprise was on and Stargate SG-1 was on. These are like other shows with space shit going on. And this show is like a completely different animal. Um,
Oh yeah, it looked
it's
like
like
it when I saw the commercials. It always looked
like
like it was just
you could tell like the mission was we do not want this to look or feel like a show was like a typical TV show with spaceships. And even watching it today, like 20 years after it came out, it's still like you still feel that like stripped downness because like
yeah.
even like watching The Expanse, which is like also very hard into like dark realism, especially with space physics. They like Battlestar Galactica still has artificial gravity that they never explain and never talk about. But whereas like, Expanse actually gets like hyper realistic with, but they still got like touch screens and like phones that have like see-through glass that's also a screen. Like they still have like flourishes of futurism in there. The inside of the Battlestar Galactica, they're still using corded phones
That's
and
awesome.
buttons.
That's awesome.
And
Because it was going to be turned into a museum. I like,
it's
yeah,
gonna be turning museum. Yeah, yeah. And
Is it
Yeah,
like
like
a?
they're
Is
using
it kind of like?
radios.
Did you say also too? It's like almost like a submarine drama too, because in the vacuum of space, you're inside that ship the whole time. Is it kind of
Yeah,
like?
yeah. Like there's no view screen they're looking at it. There's no
No,
window.
it's got a
It's like
summer.
they're just
Ooh,
getting all their data on like
I like that.
yeah.
That's like a submarine drama. I actually like submarine dramas. Like I think Star Trek really pioneered that well more because you got like okay, what was it that TNT show, The Last Ship? Like it's a
Hmm.
submarine drama, like Red
Yep.
Hunt for October and Das Boot and like it. And if this show's a submarine drama, I think that's a perfect way to do it because I want more. I want that to be brought back, the submarine genre.
Yeah, it's like a hybrid of submarine thriller, but the ship is also kind of really more like an aircraft carrier because they
Well,
got starfighters with like the
well,
Vipers and the which
when
is like
well,
the one.
you could argue that about Star Trek. Every
Mhm.
ship in the Federation is an aircraft carrier because you have to deploy.
Sure, yeah.
I
Star
like
Trek
that.
doesn't do that too often, but
No, but the concept of like the big ship can deploy smaller ships.
yeah,
I
yeah.
like that. Okay.
And so like the way the interiors of everything look very it looks like something that actually aside from like maybe a few design flourishes like something that could exist like right now like even with other ships like the where the president of the colonies sits is the Colonial One. It's basically Air Force One. Like the inside
Colonial
is like
One.
looks like a fucking airplane.
Yeah, Colonial One,
um
Air Force One. Yeah, I like
like
that.
it's just so stripped down and familiar. Nobody's shooting lasers. It's all projectiles and missiles. Even the killer robots, they're just shooting bullets.
Oh, so it's very much. Wow, I like
Yeah,
that.
it just yeah,
It's all
down and
ballistic. It
dirty.
really is all ballistics.
Yes.
That's
It's
so
like
cool.
the only they really wanted this to not feel like a conventional science fiction show
No,
at all. The cinematography is very much in line with Southland and The Shield, that down and dirty docu-style handheld thing. They oh god, the even in especially in the space sequences. Like they do some really cool shit with that camera in like the space sequences. And I've never seen a show that loved snap zooms
no,
more
yeah.
more than Battlestar's. You know, yeah. Like
Where?
they shoot the sequences in a way they shoot the space sequences like you're watching from like someone outside is like filming this. That's how it looks.
Yeah, no, I like docu-style shots and non-documentary shows and movies. I think it's
Hmm.
just cool to have that once in a while because it makes you feel like, oh, like okay, well, what's like a famous docu shot would be the Halo jump in James Gunn's Star Trek.
J.J. Abrams Star
Sorry,
Trek.
J. Sorry, my bad. Too many J's. JJ and JJ Abrams Star Trek, the Halo jump.
Mhm.
That had a docu shot, and you're like, oh shit! Like there's
Oh
so
yeah, I am certain that J.J. Abrams watched
watch
Battlestar
Battlestar. Oh, it
Galactica
sounds
before
like
he
it.
made those movies. There's some
No, but
shots in
yeah,
those movies like, I know what I know what you were watching.
and it,
Yeah,
I think 2012 obviously has a ton of that, but like a docu shot in a non-documentary, it makes you feel like, oh, like this is huge. Like Godzilla had a lot of that. The 2014 Godzilla had a few of those docu shots.
hmm.
And it's good. No, docu shots are great. I like that. I like how it's no lasers, all ballistics, even the robots, and it's mankind's final push of survival. They're being hunted down like dogs.
There,
It's a mixture of Terminator and yeah.
yeah, and the enemy might be amongst them,
Mhm.
with the
Hey, hey,
little
hey, it
human
might be
side on
amongst
them.
them, and you want to fuck them.
Yeah, and some of them might not even know that they are
Oh,
Kraken toasters. Uh,
that mentality was in Fallout 4 with the synths. You don't know if you're the enemy or not. You're just a
yeah.
hunger.
And then it's like, are they just mindless automatons carrying out programming to kill us, or do they have minds of their own? Can they make choices on their own? Can
I
you
like that.
really trust them? And yeah, I just want to like go over like the actors and the characters. Like the character. This is like one of those shows where it's like this isn't the Enterprise where like everybody is like the best of the best. Like characters are fallible. You really get the sense like this is all we have left.
Yeah.
Like the freaking commander was supposed to retire But no,
Yeah.
he's still in service. His XO probably also should have retired, and he's a functioning alcoholic, but he's still very competent, very loyal. He just guy needs to stop drinking. But, I'll go over some of the actors. Like the lead actors are the lead two, the mommy and daddy of the fleet. Commander Adama, played by America's Mexican American dad, Edward James Olmos. He played Easy's dad in Mayans. He played Selena's dad in the Selena movie starring Jennifer Lopez.
You know what's
No,
funny?
no.
He played Jennifer Lawrence's dad again in a recent
Jennifer Lopez's dad, excuse me?
sorry. He replayed Jennifer Lopez's dad in a recent rom-com with Jennifer Lopez
Oh,
and
that's
the
cool.
guy from Ted Lasso, the very serious like black-haired guy who just talks like monotone and cool. And it's funny because I'm like, hey, wasn't he the dad in? Oh, that's hilarious.
No, like I will say, like I mean, Edward Olmos is an incredible actor. This has got to be one of the finest roles of his career. I gotta say, no actor on film has ever looked more badass wearing glasses, nor
Yeah,
has any actor sounded more badass. But just like I don't even know if I could do it. He mostly talks in like this like almost a whisper.
yeah.
You know, he conveys like gravitas, not by like shouting across the room, "You will hear me, and you shall not pass." He doesn't talk like that. He's like, "You motherfucker will listen to me, even if you have to lean in close, but you will hear what I have to say. You will listen close to my vocal fry." Like he's so fucking good at doing that. Like you hear
I
him
like
talk,
that.
and you were like, some scenes he'll just say shit in that voice that just leave you quaking in your bones. Yeah, he's fucking incredible. The other lead, the mommy of the fleet, is the president, Laura Roslin, played by Mary McDonnell. She was the lead on TNT's Major Crimes. She played the
Hmm.
president's wife in Independence Day, Donnie Darko's mom. Um, and the role of Laura Roslin, she's essentially the designated survivor. She's the
Yeah. Okay, I
Secretary
remember
of
this.
Education when for like the 12 colonies when the show started, and then she's like the last surviving member of government. It's like, all right, you're the president now. To make matters more complicated, she also has breast cancer, so she is not long for this world. So she's just like juggling all this shit, but she doesn't act like, "Oh no, what do I do? I don't know what I'm doing." No, she's like, "All right, humanity's on my shoulders. I got to do what I got to do." And she can, oh God, McDonald's performance. She's one of those actresses that can like you ever like see someone give like a fake smile?
Oh yeah.
They're like not they are not impressed with you, but they gotta like put on
Smile.
that. I don't even know if I can do that face right. They gotta put on. She has like the coldest fake smile and
Did you?
like acting with
Yeah.
that you ever hear. Where sometimes
As
you're,
hey, as anyone
oh,
who's worked in education knows.
yes, right. Thank you. That'll be all.
Yeah. I like how you
But
said. I like. Sorry, when you said she has cancer, but she's like focused on the job. It just reminds me of that room quote. Don't your tits have cancer? Like after a while, you're like, God damn, woman, don't you have breast cancer?
yeah. Oh God, she's so great. Other actors in this, Katie Sackhoff, who more
Yeah.
people nowadays know as Bo-Katan from the Mandalorian show, which I mean, good for her, good for her.
Yeah, it's just money.
Good for her. But oh God, it does not hold a candle. You know that her character is actually a gender bent,
Yeah.
because Starbuck. Well, her character's name is Kara Thrace, and Starbuck is her call sign. But in the original TV show, the name was just Starbuck, and he was played by Dirk Benedict. But they gender flipped it because the creators were like, "Well, Starbuck was just like the womanizing, like cocky guy, and it doesn't really make sense for this show." So they were like, "Well, what if we made the cocky guy a woman instead, who still is down to fuck, and but is also like a tomboy that with a hot temper that you don't want to fuck with." Which probably means she's very damaged because let's be real, a person like that probably has some childhood issues that they haven't fully worked out.
Yeah.
Incredible acting role for her. I hope she could. I hope that someone will cast her in a role that can utilize her range as well, as she
Yes,
did.
sure.
When I saw her flying a starfighter in The Mandalorian as Bo-Katan, I was like, "Ah, this is exciting," but it's not as exciting as when she's in a Viper shooting down a Cylon Raider, yelling, "Got you, motherfracker." That's another thing. They have their own version of the F-bomb in this show. They like to say it was there because you couldn't say fuck in basic cable back in the
Oh,
day.
heard an interview with Katie Sackhoff about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, right. That's
They
right. They
couldn't they
did.
couldn't say the F word.
They changed up that. Yeah.
So they say frack instead, F-R-A-K. Um and it hits just as hard. Like you hear it, it has the same impact. It's got to be that hard K, you know? And you know exactly what they're saying. And you know what? If I'm going to be
Awesome.
really honest, I kind of wish Game of Thrones had their own kind of curse
Nothing.
words too. Because
Honestly, that
when they actually say fuck in Game of Thrones and in the books, it kind of takes me out. Because I'm like, I know it's a fantasy world, but
you'd think.
it's kind of like the real like the
Well,
prescience of the real world coming in my face.
that's why the House of the Dragons is hitting better because they're actually saying Craven and like scoundrel, like they're saying actual more appropriate wording for cussing.
Yeah, but they still say the F bomb. Like there's one scene where like Rhaenyra says
Oh
she just
yeah,
yells "fuck," and it kind of took me out because it did
yeah.
to me it just didn't jive with the language of the show, and I kind of wish Game of Thrones like could kind of wish George R.
Invent.
R. Martin created a little something a substitute that fit with that universe that like didn't feel so real world, but that's just a different thinking on there. I'm trying to think like who else was in this? Oh, the uncle from Fire Country. Was he's on his character is like he's like a professional athlete who turns into a resistance fighter when the shit goes down.
Oh, that's
um
cool.
yeah,
It's a good concept. That's a cool concept, though.
he's like comic book Tyrese from The Walking Dead. Because
Okay.
he was like an NFL player who ended up turning into like a survivor, an armed
No,
survivor.
but the concept of an actual athlete being a soldier is always interesting because I think Game of Thrones, sorry, Gears of War had one of their characters be an athlete, but then shit went down, so they became like a soldier. I like that.
Yeah,
Kind of shows you how now that what you're telling me, a lot of things came took from this specific version of Battlestar Galactica. A lot of things were taken from it.
I say Battlestar Galactica ran so that Game of Thrones can run faster and fall on its face. Um,
Yeah,
like Game of Thrones, Battlestar also had a controversial ending. Um, Battlestar has a way better ending. I was Game of Thrones' ending sucks ass because
it needed four more seasons
yeah, and a lot of the characters kind of stopped acting like themselves. Like they
because
got stupid.
they needed four seasons
They
more.
had to get stupid in order for the sped up plot to happen. And Battlestar doesn't have that. Like
No,
regardless what you think of the ending, you can definitely say that the characters were served well. They kind
yeah,
of reached their logical conclusions by the end. And
okay.
and I would also say that the Battlestar ending your feelings on the ending might also depend on how you feel of the implications of mysticism on the show because
Ooh.
there are a lot of religious themes in the show as well. Like interestingly enough, the robots kind of have their own religion. They believe in like one god, like the one god, just one. Whereas the Battlestar, the Colonials, the humans, they essentially believe in the Greek gods. There's a lot of like Greek god influences. Like the 12 colonies are all named after Greek gods, like Caprica, Sagittarion,
No, I like that.
Tauron, and obviously the commander Adam Edward James Olmos's son in the show, played by pasty white British boy Jamie Bamber,
Hey,
which I thought that was kind of like First of all, I love that. I love that the in hindsight, the casting of like nobody overthought it there. They're just like nobody ever went, wait, does it make sense if we cast a white guy to be the Mexican guy's son? I don't even think that crossed their minds, and it doesn't matter.
That's awesome.
But
But
his call sign is Apollo, and
ooh, I
um,
like that as a call sign though. Apollo makes you think like why Maverick doesn't have the
yeah,
Maverick the Top Gun movies don't have more creative call signs.
yeah, and it's like Nick. So he's like he's Captain because in the show he was Captain Apollo, and
Yeah,
obviously in this show, like no, he's got to have a real name.
yeah, no, no, but like
His name is
I
Lee, but
I,
his
I
call sign
like
is
that call. I
Apollo.
like the call sign Apollo because now I hope in because Top Gun 3 is being made, like have someone have a call sign be Icarus.
I've Here's the thing. I've heard that like in real life, call signs
Oh yeah, or
for like
so yeah,
are like really stupid and silly because it's like
yeah,
silly nicknames that they give you, which is funny. Like on Battlestar, a lot of the call signs are for like the original characters that were from the original show are like actually kind of badass. So it's like Apollo, Starbuck, Boomer. The commander when he was a young pilot, his call sign was Husker. But then when they start training new pilots, they have like funny names. It's like one of them's name is Racetrack.
yeah,
One of them is named Hot Dog, and that was like the origin story of that was that he was talking during his like first training session over the over his instructor and this who's Starbuck, and Starbuck was like, all right, you know what, Costanza, your name is Hot Dog from now on
that
because
is
I fucking said so.
that is literally an Animal House reference. Your name is Flounder. Your name is Flounder. Why is it Flounder? Because it is.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like, oh, the newer pilots have the silly nicknames because that's like more realistic of what that would be. And the techno babble on the show. It's not like Star Trek techno babble where they're just making up
Shit up. They're
bullshit
just
about
saying,
the tachyons and the antimatter. We got to reroute the reverse the polarity. No, they're actually talking like real like military chatter with coordinates and like you can tell they had like actual like naval consultancy going on to saying like, well, this is how they would actually talk to each other um while like planes are in the air,
yeah,
and here's how they would report their findings and stuff like that. um
good.
yeah, so brilliant. The last thing I want to add, Battlestar Galactica has, I think, my favorite score of any filmed work. So including feature films.
Okay.
The score is for the pilot miniseries, it was done by Richard Gibbs. But for the show, the rest of the series, it was done by Mr. Bear McCreary. You might have heard that name. He's very much high demand. He's been in high demand in Hollywood, and this was like his breakout work.
All right.
So, they when you think like space science fiction, you often think like either classical orchestra a la Star Wars, or you think kind of like more techno, electric, futurist sound a la Blade Runner
Yeah.
and stuff, or Mass Effect. Um, Battlestar, the first thing you think of, among other things, is Japanese taiko drums.
Ooh. I
Boy,
like
if there's one thing you remember of this show, it's the fucking taiko drums. Like the opening theme music of the show, it starts off with this like sorrow recital of like I think it's like a Hindu prayer or something called the Gayatri Mantra, and it's like, oh, the fall of humanity, the fall of the colonies. Oh, it's so sad. And then the second half, it's just taiko drums, no melody. Yeah, it's just and you hear that throughout, and then as the show goes
it.
on you hear like other like westerners call it world music, which I think is a little racist, but you hear like music, oh god, I don't know what this instrument is called, but you hear it anytime like something is set in the Middle East.
Oh, okay. I
If you
think I know.
if you think if yeah,
You
that
think
that's
it, you know it. Yeah.
you've heard it in like the first Modern Warfare game when they're touching down in that fictional country. Yeah, that they use that instrument. Later you hear like kind of like a hard bass, like electric bass guitar get invoked. At one point in the season, at one point in the show, later on, they actually do a full-on cover of Bob Dylan's Along the Watchtower. And other than
Yeah.
the singing, the actual music, even though it works, the actual music sounds nothing
Like,
like the Dylan song or the Hendrix cover at all. But it does sound like Battlestar.
eh,
It's an interesting it's like an interesting mix of like all these like different sounds and tones
I like that.
into the show, but especially the taiko drums. Like you will never forget those fucking drums. You'll like if you watch this show enough, you'll sometimes like you'll find yourself just like doing like instead of well, you can't really hum it, so you'll just have to do like
I like
like
techno
you
drums.
just find yourself doing that in passing. It's like, oh yeah, like it's some Battlestar, and then you'll rewatch it again. I do
Who's
think the show has rewatchability, even though like there was no plan, like they were
for
kind of
it?
just making it up as they went. But when you watch, obviously when certain things get revealed, it does change how you view the show. You're like, oh, okay, okay, this kind of changes the context of this scene now, and
Yeah.
so forth.
So 2003's Battlestar Galactica.
Yes.
Where can we find it for streaming? Except,
Right now it's streaming on Paramount Plus. But do you have Paramount Plus still
yeah,
or
yeah.
okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Go watch it right now. If it ever gets taken down from Paramount Plus, I'll be more than happy to lend you my Blu-rays
Oh, thank you.
because I got the whole series on Blu-ray
I got it all,
and
baby.
I got the
All
whole
right,
thing.
so
I hope Universal never reboots this because
hey,
I think when they did this the reimagining of Battlestar Galactica is kind of like this is like my go-to example for like how you can just not be not really be faithful, at least in a surface level, not be faithful to the source material and make like a superior work out of it.
good.
It just like they change because yeah, like it does not feel like the old show at all. Which is why there was a lot of fan backlash at first because it's like to the point where like Edward James almost like once like just like crashed out
Yeah.
at a convention appearance and was like, hey, this show isn't made for you. If you want to watch the old show, just pull out the DVDs and watch the old show because
That's all you
if
need to
that
do.
is what you want, do that. This show was not made for you then.
Yeah.
This is we're doing something very different, and I for one am proud. Of course, he had a stipulation that like there better not be fucking aliens on this show,
Ha.
which the producers were like, "Don't worry, we're operating on rare earth theory anyway. Like, we're not going to encounter aliens. Space is just empty and bleak." But he said, "I swear, if there's like a four-eyed alien running at me, I'm gonna faint on camera." And then I'm gonna leave the set, and you'll just
Yeah.
say I died of a heart attack.
All right, so folks, to forgive us the launch codes, we have 2003's Battlestar Galactica and the Berserk manga, which you can
hmm
find on Amazon or anywhere really they sell books. Barnes& and Noble, bookstores, it's actually everywhere.
hmm
So we recommend both these two for watching and reading, and I will start doing that at Paramount. And Travis,
Yeah.
well, you know what you
Start with the
got to.
miniseries. Make sure you watch the
Okay.
miniseries
All right.
first, and then get to the main show.
And Travis, you got to go to Barnes& and Noble now and pick up a Black Spine.
Yeah. I gotta finish my omnibus my X-Men omnibus, which I've been moving slowly on because I can't because I'm not bringing that thing to work.
No,
I gotta read it at home.
I don't
Um,
bring this to work. I read this at home. It's just too thick. Well, folks, that is our first edition of Give Us the Remote on Give Us the Launch Codes for our Friday releases. We hope you enjoy. Please read and watch. That's always a good thing to say. Read and watch.
yeah,
I'm Tom.
I'm Travis.
Enjoy. Good afternoon, good evening, good night.
As they say on my show, so say we all.
Hey. Hey.